Mr. James Roadman was a wealthy and rude man known throughout the community for his lack of kindness. He lived in a large mansion, surrounded by luxury, but his heart had no room for the less fortunate, especially the homeless. Across the street from his mansion, a private lot owned by a generous individual served as temporary shelter for homeless families. Mr. Roadman despised them. One day, as he was driving out of his mansion with the car window slightly open, a 9-year-old homeless boy named Jason approached him and cheerfully greeted. "Good morning, Mr. Roadman. How are you, sir?" Mr. Roadman scowled at the boy. "My name is Roadman, not Rude Man. What do you want?" Jason, with hopeful eyes, responded, "I was wondering, sir, if you could spare some coins to buy bread." Mr. Roadman stopped his car, got out, and put his hand in his pocket. Jason's eyes lit up as he eagerly watched Mr. Roadman's hand, expecting a gift. But when Mr. Roadman opened his palm, it was empty. He laughed mockingly at the boy. "Go find a job," he sneered, returning to his car. Jason, disheartened, stood in confusion. Mr. Roadman glanced back and said, "You're too young to work, right? Well then, grow up." He sped off, laughing at the boy's sorrow. The next day, Jason's family celebrated his birthday. Though they had no food, they sang to make the day special. Their joy was soon interrupted by the arrival of 2 policemen, responding to a noise complaint. The homeless group immediately suspected Mr. Roadman had called them. Sure enough, he stood outside his mansion, watching with a sinister smile. After speaking to the homeless group, the policeman approached Mr. Roadman. "Why haven't they been driven away yet?" he demanded. "They disturb the peace, and when I become mayor, I'll make sure they're all gone." One of the policemen explained calmly, "They're staying on private property, sir. We can't force them to leave." Mr. Roadman turned away angrily, muttering threats about firing the officers when he became mayor. As the policeman left, one remarked to the other, "He runs for mayor every election and doesn't even get a single vote. No wonder with that attitude." One day, as Mr. Roadman was driving out of his mansion, Jason happened to be standing near the gate, unaware of the car coming toward him. To Jason's surprise, Mr. Roadman slowed down, rolled down the window, and smiled warmly. "Hey kid, how are you doing today?" Mr. Roadman asked. Jason hesitated, stunned by the unexpected friendliness. Mr. Roadman extended his hand out of the window, revealing a handful of coins. Confused, Jason stepped back slightly, recalling the cruel joke from days before. Sensing Jason's reluctance, Mr. Roadman apologized, saying, "About the other day, I'm sorry. I was having a rough day, and I did something I shouldn't have." Jason was still cautious. Then, Mr. Roadman brought his other hand out, gathering more coins. He clasped both hands together. "Come on, go ahead, take them," he urged with a friendly smile. Despite his better judgment, Jason approached and cupped his hands beneath Mr. Roadman's. But when the man opened his hands, they were empty once again. Jason stood there crestfallen. Mr. Roadman let out a mocking laugh. "Go find a job, kid. Grow up," he sneered before speeding off, leaving Jason standing there, disheartened once more. As Jason watched the car sped away down the road, a large moose suddenly stepped out in front of Mr. Roadman's vehicle. Mr. Roadman saw the moose on his way, and he panicked. Mr. Roadman's car swerved to avoid it, and, in a moment of panic, lost control, sending the car careening off the edge of a cliff. Jason, the only one who had seen the accident, ran as fast as he could to alert his family and the other homeless people. Without a moment's hesitation, they all rushed to the cliffside to help. Mr. Roadman awoke in a hospital bed, his body aching, still weak from the accident. His vision was blurry at first, but as it cleared, he saw a doctor standing beside him. "You're incredibly lucky to be alive," the doctor said. "You lost a lot of blood, but many people with your blood type donated enough to save you." The doctor pointed to Jason, standing nearby. "This boy saw you fall and alerted everyone. These homeless people, the ones you've been so unkind to, risked their lives to pull you up from that steep cliff. Even the ambulance couldn't have reached you down there." Mr. Roadman's heart sank as he looked around the room, seeing the very people he had treated with cruelty. Overcome with emotion, he began to cry. With a voice heavy with regret, he apologized to them all. "When I recover," he promised, "you'll see a different man." Mr. Roadman, who barely survived the crash, spent weeks recovering. During that time, he reflected deeply on how the very people he despised, the homeless, were the ones who saved his life. When he finally regained his strength, he knew he had to make things right. Soon after, he invited the homeless families to his mansion. At first, they hesitated, unsure of whether to accept his offer. But Mr. Roadman insisted. "It would bring me great sorrow if you refused," he told them sincerely. From that day forward, the homeless families moved into Mr. Roadman's mansion and were treated as if they were part of his own family. Because of his many businesses, Mr. Roadman offered jobs to the adults and secured free educational plans for their children, covering their studies all the way through college. One afternoon, as the children played in the mansion's large pool, their laughter echoing across the grounds, Mr. Roadman stood nearby, barbecuing and preparing food for everyone. He smiled to himself, feeling a joy he had never known before. On another occasion, during a family-style dinner at the long dining table, Mr. Roadman could be seen cooking and serving food for the families himself. It was clear to everyone that his transformation was genuine. He had become a man of kindness and compassion. When the next election came, the people overwhelmingly voted for Mr. Roadman as mayor. He immediately established a program that provided free housing for all the homeless in the city, ensuring that no one would be left without shelter. 17 years later, Jason, the boy who had once asked for a few coins to buy bread, was preparing to graduate as a lawyer. His journey was made possible thanks to the financial support of Mayor Roadman, whose life-changing transformation had inspired so many. Jason now dreamed of giving back to his city, just as Mayor Roadman had done for him. But Jason wasn't the only success story. 5 other children from the homeless families who had once lived in tents had also graduated or were on the verge of doing so. 1 had become a doctor, 2 had graduated as architects, and 2 more were computer engineers. They were all living proof of how far compassion could carry someone when given a chance. A compassionate mayor. The next inspiring story is waiting for you. Just click the video on your screen now. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future heartwarming stories. If this video made you smile, give it a thumbs up and let me know. Thanks for watching. Share this video with someone who could use a little inspiration today.